Hey guys. So what I wanted to talk about today was diets and why people say diets are good and why they're bad. There's so much information out there that it gets really overwhelming, and kind of what's best for you. So there's tons of diets out there. Weight Watchers, keto, paleo, Chico, or calories in, calories out, Jen and Craig, Beachbody, tons of things. And it's really hard to try and figure out like where to start and what is best for you. There's also a bunch of diets that are kind of trying to figure out what things might be causing inflammation and what might your body might not be reacting to, like Whole 30 and the elimination diet, and ones like that. So here's a little bit about my story in regards to these, and I'll give a little bit, not I'll talk about a few of them. So I did Weight Watchers, I think starting when I was 13. Lost 20 pounds. Did it in the summer, went back to school. The next summer, did it again, lost 15, 20 pounds, went back to school. A couple years later, when I hit, that was in high school or right before high school. And then in college, did similar, was like, okay, it's summertime. I need to go on Weight Watchers again. Did really well for about 15, 20 pounds. And I wasn't one of those people that got the freshman 20 because I went to boarding school. So I was on my own a little bit earlier than that. So I kind of already was familiar with eating uh, at a cafeteria and things like that. But that's a different story. So I also, after Weight Watchers, then in college, I had gained a lot because studying, I do best studying in coffee shops, and between having different lattes, different things to kind of keep me up and energized, not working out as often due to grad school, and things like that. I gained some weight again, and then I ended up doing some CrossFit and doing a paleo challenge, which I did really well with. I didn't actually lose a bunch of weight, but I definitely got flatter, more firm, and really felt toned and was comfortable with my body. Uh, and then, that was a challenge. And then recently, I actually ended up doing the elimination diet, Whole 30. Realized that I didn't like how they added foods in quickly because I really wasn't able to tell what I was getting from what. And recently, I've given up on all of it. I actually didn't make it very far in elimination diet, and that's mostly because I didn't like how it added things, and I really wasn't able to tell what I was reacting to. So through this, now I'm doing more of an intuitive eating type of thing. And I want to give the disclaimer that I really believe that people should do what's best for them. If you're like me and you went from diet to diet to diet and you yo-yoed and you decreased weight, increased weight, decreased weight, increased weight, maybe it's time to stop. So what I learned through all this is that it's really important to get a healthy relationship with food. And I don't think I understood what that meant until recently. People say eat healthy, people say to eat whole foods. It's all a bunch of gibberish when you're so used to following some program or some diet. It makes it really hard to kind of figure out what are those things. Macros to me are confusing as heck. Fats, carbs. I did not realize that carbs are in fruit. It took me doing Chico to figure that out. So I learned a lot by tracking my food and learning what I was ingesting, but it's still kind of gibberish. I've learned that certain things have things that I didn't realize, but it's still really hard to keep track of all that. I was also eating less than 1,000 calories almost every day and working out every day. And weight did not move at all. So it's one of those things where it's really hard to figure out. People say it's all about decreasing how much you're eating, calories in, calories out, and all that. And that's really tough, especially when the scale doesn't move for 7 months and you've been eating not a lot. And I wasn't starving myself. I wasn't hungry. I had been so trained from all these diets that I didn't feel hungry when it turned out I was actually doing a little bit of intermittent fasting without realizing, because when I wake up, I'm not hungry. not hungry at all. So come 12ish, 1ish is when I have my first meal. And then I'd eat again at like 7 or 8 for dinner. And I really wasn't snacking very much. And it turned into okay, I need to eat more, but I shouldn't be eating more, but I really wasn't hungry. And when I tried to eat more, I felt like I was stuffing myself. So it's just a really hard thing to try and come to terms with when you've been taught for so long that you need to follow certain things. So getting healthy with food basically is less about following strict things and figuring out what it is that makes you feel good. Just eating when you're hungry, not eating when you're hungry, figuring out the reasons why you're eating when you're eating. Are you eating because someone broke up with you? Are you eating because you're stressed? Whatever those things are, and then trying to almost break that habit, which I'll talk about in another video. But part of it is just realizing when you're eating and why you're eating, and start to pay attention to it. Don't even make a huge change yet. Just start to listen. Um, Listen to your body, listen to your mind, figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And it took a long time to realize that I had such an unhealthy relationship with food my entire life until now. And now I'm trying to correct it. And that's all that matters, is making the changes when you're ready to make them. When that time is right, it's right. Some people aren't ready to hear certain things. Some people need challenges. Some people need that diet to kind of kickstart them. And to be honest, it's not the best, but it's okay. In the long run, I hope everyone kind of gets to the point where I'm at. But everyone, I think, needs to also get there in their own time. If someone told me to do intuitive eating 10 years ago, I'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? Cool, you know that that's the right thing for me, but I wasn't ready for that. So people can tell you to do all sorts of things, but in the end, you really need to start with figuring out why you're doing things, why you're eating, figuring out why you're choosing to eat certain things and when you're doing it. Hey, Katie, thanks for joining. But once you figure that out and kind of listen to your body and why you're choosing to do certain things, I think that that's when you start to build that healthy relationship with food. And if you're kind of at that point like me where you're ready to listen, try something new, awesome, go ahead and message me. Let's chat, because I'm really looking for people at that similar stage. People who have struggled, are still struggling, but also ready to kind of change that relationship with food. And it's also kind of a mental game. You want to start to learn, hey, why am I doing those things? Why am I choosing to eat this ice cream at this time? Things like that. And then start to break those habits. Breaking the habits is hard. So just start by realizing what your habits are, realizing why you're doing things. And if diet is right for you at that time, it gives you a kickstart. And then hopefully you'll get to that point where you're able to kind of change and shift your mindset a little bit, and realize that diets aren't really a healthy relationship with food. So I'm just starting to kind of figure out what that healthy relationship is. And after 30 plus years of having an unhealthy relationship, that's really difficult to do. So this isn't something that happens overnight, just like people say we didn't gain weight overnight. So just kind of start to listen to yourself, listen to why you're eating, when you're eating, things like that. And if you've got questions, go ahead and hit me up, and hope you liked it.